Hey guys. Gosh, mixed crowd here tonight. Which end am I going to start at? Chirpy, Dan, Poppy, Mark Osborne, Chris at Old Iron Shops, Stephen Lang, Machine NZ, Thomas Kearns, gosh, a mixed crowd. Anyway, glad you all made it. It's freezing cold here tonight. Last night it got down to about 8 degrees Celsius, which for Queensland is cold. Anyway, we're living with it. Rugged up a bit more tonight. Tommy Gun Machining, g'day. Tom, Mr. P Show. Awesome. Don't know if there's much to report, really. I've spent all weekend messing around with this thing. Bit of a job, actually. And all the difficult bits. Hey, Bob Miller. Hey, John. This was... Didn't really know where to even start with some of this stuff. And most of it was designed after the main body was finished. But that's what I've been doing. These plates are going to get redesigned and probably a bit bigger diameter, maybe a bit thicker. I would like to make some metal ones, but I can't see that happening. There will be a brass or a stainless steel or something back plate, the same size as the plate that go behind them, just to hold the detent. It is a bit on the fly. These I've made, these are a 01 tool steel, bit of ground flat stock. Made these up. Bit of a job. Not so much a difficult job, just a slow job. Someone asked if there was going to be any video about these, and this is probably it, to be honest. Did make a filing button to get the outsides right. And draw filed the rest. Tapped it and made a washer. These still need some sort of a spring on them to stop them turning. Hey JB, David, Bob Miller. Spring washers, like a wave washer, yeah, something like that to sit on there, to stop these coming loose on here. I'm pretty impressed with this. It's turned out fairly compact and fairly neat, but that's how much space we've got. I don't know whether I'm going to make a washer. It doesn't need a lot of friction. Probably even a fibre washer would do, the right thickness. Still thinking about that. Dividing heads traditionally have a clip that goes in with a lug that goes under here, as Stefan calls it, the bit of tin that you cut your finger on. But I'm not sure whether that's really the answer. All this goes together pretty easy. So a washer, I think, on here and screw it all together probably won't hurt for the odd times that you do change the plates out. So they're pretty good, really. I've still got a crosshead screw in there, which is a bit awful. I'll put an Allen key screw in it when I go and get one. But that works. Today I've made this. I sort of prototyped this up, and then I made this the other day. Prototyped this up and then ended up making it all out of metal. So we've got lots of bits that didn't quite work out in 3D print. There's quite an assortment of them over there. M. Slawson, g'day. Hey, Cam. So that's pretty good. I like that. Everything's nice and rigid. Looks pretty good. I didn't really know how to attach this to here. I've only put a flat side on here. Not sure whether that was a good thing or not, but I never had any real way of indexing this to put 4 cuts on it with that length. It was a bit tricky. So anyway, I just put one flat side on it, and I've made this up today, which I'm really quite proud of. That's got a flat side, and it's made up out of 3 pieces actually. I actually made the bush and then machined the side of it off and silver soldered a piece on it flat, and then machined that down and fitted it in here and silver soldered that in too. So pretty pleased about that. Really impressed. I'm going to brag about that piece. It was most of the day, but that fits on there nicely like that. And then this goes on here. Probably. Yeah. There we go. And that's pretty nice actually. I'm really pleased with that. This has a spring detent in here. Hey Paul. The spring detent in here, which has a recess and a slot so that you turn it half a turn and it lifts up and stays up, hopefully. That's the idea, with a spring and a plunger in it and a knob that screws on top. This is going to need redesigning because I haven't quite got this right. What I didn't realise is that this is going to have to lift up at least 3-4 mil, probably 5 millimeters to clear that arm. And this design that I had doesn't do that, so we're going to have a think about that. But expect this bit next. I pulled this apart and gave it all a good clean up, which it needed. It's shiny again now. Made a filing button and filed this around to match the bolt nicely, so I'm pretty pleased about that. Cleaned most of the machine marks out of this block of cast iron, and organised with a friend who has is obtaining a 3/16 keyway brooch, so we can put a keyway in there. Ordered a 12.5 mil reamer, so that I can fit the chucks and collets in the end there. I've got a second drawbar for the launch, which is about this much too short for some reason. It's off another head. I'm not sure what it's off, but I might shorten that up and use that in there as well. So that's what we've done most of the week, to be honest. Watch some YouTube, some good YouTube. There's some really good videos starting to come in from as competition entries. There's 38, 37, 38 days, something like that, 37 days left to enter, which is pretty crazy. There's the one that didn't quite work out. 37 days left to enter. I think we're up to 7 entries, some really good ones. There's one from, let's see if we can get them all. Rustinox, there's one from him. Gosh, I haven't got a hope. We'll start at this end. There's one come in from Cam at Battler, and one from John Creasy, one from JB from Oz, and one from Poppy, one from one from Rustinox, one from Machine NZ, and there must be another one that I've missed. One from, no, sorry, not Machine NZ, one from Tommy Gun Machining. I think that's what we've got. There we go. I should have made a list. I didn't. Yeah, and one from John Creasy. I've had 3 or 4 emails today, actually, from people who apologise for not making competition videos. Not mandatory. Not mandatory. I know you're all crazy busy, and the best creators out there are the ones that have got no time for anything else. And it's a huge imposition to ask any of your time to do it. So don't feel compelled. That's why there's a prize pool, is because that might tip the balance. Rustinox, we were just talking about you. Excellent video on restoring an axe from Rustinox today. Well worth a look. How much room does this take up? A fair bit. The table's only 12 inches long. So it's that long. By the time you get a chuck on this, half the table. But it's the half the table you don't use. That's why I'm seriously thinking about putting an outrigger centre on it rather than finding another centre to go on the bed. At this point, that seems to make sense. But we have this hole here. I don't know whether something can be done with that. This originally had a detent or a tin wiper for indexing a cutter or something like that. I'm not sure. And that's got 2 screws, one here and one here to lock it. And that hole goes all the way through. So whether we can bolt something on underneath and put another bush out here, whether that's going to be solid enough or whether it's going to vibrate, I'm not sure about that. But an outrigger centre on here would be really nice to give us some space down the end of the bed. I don't think it is the right one because it's off centre this way, Chirpy. It's just here, actually. It looks like the right one. And when you put it together, these look like they're all in line. But when you turn it over, what you find is that it's sort of, whichever way you go, it's about 3/8 of an inch off centre. So I don't believe it is. It's also a different colour and it's made to a completely different standard. So at this point, yes, probably an off-centre centerpiece would fix it, but I'm sort of not really room for that. I think probably if it gets a centre, it might be just an angle plate. We'll see. Probably could reslot it. It is pretty ugly and it takes up a lot of room it shouldn't. It's really not the ideal thing. I'm in time to sort of toss that and go with a, what would be really nice is a center and adjustable angle plate like a horizontal borer has, something like that doesn't take up too much room this way. But I'm not sort of, we'll see. We'll see this time. We'll get this finished first. Get the keyway in this, get the spindle sorted. You have to put a key in there to stop the collets turning. Don't know whether I'll actually put a bronze piece on the end of this screw or not. It seems to be a hard screw and it doesn't seem to mark anything up much, so not sure about that. But anyway, that's where we're going and I think it's looking pretty good. I'm really, really pleased with it. I need another casting pattern, JB, like a hole in the head, to be honest. I've had enough pattern making to last me for the next 100 years, probably. Spoke to Clark last night about the Stuart 400 castings. I believe that this next weekend he's probably going to make a start on them. No pressure, Clark, but really, really excited about that. So watch out for that. Chris is traumatized. Yeah, I can only just imagine. What else? 37 days to the competition ends. That makes it about 43 days to the summer bash, something like that. That's crazy, guys. 43 days is like, it's like a Monty Python skit. But pretty excited about that. It's all happening. I've got to get some stuff posted. I've got to get some stuff done to take with me. I've got a couple of signs I've promised people for a few years in a row and they just haven't happened. And I've got a parcel to send to Chirpy that's got to be sent in the next couple of weeks. I've got, yeah, there's a lot happening. There's a lot happening, stuff I need to do. It'll happen, and it'll happen before I go, Chirpy. Summer Bash, Peter. Yes, the yearly thing. Check out Stan Zinkowski's channel, Bar Z Industrial, Shadon HKW. Someone might put a link in the comments. Really, really amazing event that Stan puts on every year. Some new sponsors that are fairly interesting too. It's sort of personally well worth a look. You should, Peter. It's what, Parrot? Yeah, when hell freezes over, check out that hashtag. Give it a click when the video's finished, and there'll be lots and lots of videos about Summer Bash. I'm not sure I'm going to make it next year. I might even just give in and go to the UK next year instead if I go anywhere. I was thinking more like 33 days. Yeah, you didn't have to eat my leg. So there's lots to do. There's lots to do and lots to get done, and thankfully there's still some good YouTube coming up. Video from Dale was hoping to talk to Dale if he come on the live stream about why he's going to grind his chuck when it's a grip true. But anyway, who else put up some good videos? I don't just watch machining videos. There's lots of cool stuff that I've seen lately. Nothing from this old Tony for a while. Someone commented on that. I guess he's okay. I'm sure he's fine. Don't sort of turn yourself into a nervous wreck over that. I'm sure that there'll be something come up soon. Lots of ice restoration. There's three-phase motor rewinding from JB. How's that going, JB? Have you got it working yet? There's a steam engine that John Creasy's building on Facebook. It's worth a look. If you're on Facebook, check out the YouTube Machinist Facebook group if you're on Facebook. This is going to sag, isn't it? No, it's not. Only a little bit. Check these guys out. Great group if you're on Facebook. What's everyone else doing? Cam's gone quiet on the slotting attachment. Haven't heard anything about that. Not a lot from Stephen Lang. He's busy making stones, I believe. Some good forging videos from Chirpy. Always good content from Chirpy. You should go and check that out if you haven't already. Don't know what else I've seen. Yeah, who knows what next year's got in mind. I'm probably going to stay home and buy myself a milling machine or rebuild my milling machine or something like that with the money. We'll see. If I win the Forge Your competition, I'll probably just bring one back from America with me. But I'm not real hopeful, to be honest. On shutdowns, that's hard work. Hi, Duncan. Good to see you. I've been practicing. You better practice, Chris. You might have to. Yeah, I've been practicing. I sort of think I'm pretty quick, but I know there'll be people that will be a lot quicker. I think you probably should have a go, Stephen. I really do. What mills? I really want to get this horizontal going nicely and put a vertical head on it. Probably I'm going to find it's a beautiful little mill. It's just a little bit short in the table. It's really its only downfall is it hasn't got Z feed on the table, and it's a little bit short. But apart from that, it's a pretty nice machine compared to anything you can buy new. Probably an Optimum would be the Chinese import Optimum seems to be the go-to for small mills. But I'm not really I'm not really looking all that hard, and if I found a MCO or a Sieg or Optimum head somewhere, I'd probably put that on this mill and have a good machine. Well, if you're quick, how slow can you go, Steve? You're talking about the mill. Yeah, it runs pretty slow. There's no Shoreline 4-jaw category, but if you're quick with the Shoreline category, we'll see you, Chris. Take care. Practice that 4-jaw. That's true, but then it's 3/4 of an inch off center, not 3/8 of an inch off center. That's the problem. If we turn this around, this is actually over here then. So I'm not going to use it. I think I've made that decision. What I would like to do is sort of envisage some sort of a outrigger steady with a tube with a rod through here and it swings on this end. That'd be really good because that means we can tilt the head and cut tapers and all those sort of things. Anyway, I reckon we've about covered this. I'm going to say good night. Take care, everyone. Check out those videos. Be kind to each other. And I'll hold you to that, Cam. More soon. We'll see ya.